get by. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sand. And right now, I feel like 100 grand.
You are listening to Inspired Insider with your host, Dr. Jeremy Wise.
Dr. Jeremy Wise here, founder of InspiredInsider.com, where I talk with inspirational entrepreneurs and leaders. Today is no different. I have Blair Williams. Blair, there's so many sites. I'm going to list them all in your official bio. Blair, you could check them out. Caseproof.com is kind of like the main hub, but they run MemberPress and Pretty Links, and I'm going to name them all. But before I introduce Blair, we're going to talk about all things memberships, right? And totally. Much more, software, memberships, acquisitions, who knows what we're going to get into here. Before I introduce Blair officially, there's some other podcast episodes you can check out, okay? Actually, Blair owns and runs Wishlist Member, but a long time ago, I had Stu McLaren on, who founded Wishlist Member. That's a great episode to check out. So this is
good
also
guy.
Great guy. This is also part of the SaaS series. And so you can check out, I had one of the co-founders of Zapier on, Wade Foster. That was a really good interview. One of the co-founders of Pipedrive on was a good interview. One of the founders of Mailshake, Sujan Batali, talked about how he's been acquiring SaaS companies. Actually, Blair has used that playbook as well, his own playbook, but that it's a great episode. He talked a lot about, Blair, you'd like it, integration and integrating companies, which is, people talk about acquisition, and I haven't heard as much about the integration part into the whole company. And that was interesting to hear his thoughts. So many more on InspiredInsider.com. This episode is brought to you by Rise25. At Rise25, we help businesses give to and connect to their dream relationships and partnerships. We do this in a couple ways. One, we're an easy button for a company to launch and run a podcast. We do the strategy, accountability, and the full execution and production to make it easy. We're also an easy button for a company's corporate gifting. So if you have great clients, partners, prospects, even staff from a culture perspective, people send us a list of addresses and we do everything else. And usually it's a campaign of gifts. It's not just one. It's, maybe a gift every 4 months for 3 years type of thing. So Blair, we kind of call ourselves the magic elves that run in the background to make it stress-free for a company to build amazing relationships so they could do everything else. And the number one thing in my life is relationships. I always look at ways on how I can give to my best relationships. And I found no better way over the past 15 years than to profile the people and companies I admire in the podcast and send them sweet treats in the mail. So you can go to rise25.com or email us at support@rise25.com. I am super excited to introduce Blair Williams. He's created top WordPress plugins. We use some of them, actually. MemberPress, Pretty Links, Easy Affiliate. He's also strategically expanded his portfolio, acquiring key platforms like MemberMouse, Wishlist Member, and Access Ally. He has empowered countless creators to turn their passions into profit. So, Blair, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
Blair joined this call because of Pretty Links. Okay. And I tell everyone, and I didn't know this before I was chatting. Big shout out to Matt Brown. First of all, Matt Brown introduced us. He's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't know you created Pretty Links. And there's certain things, Blair, that if they went down, we would want to huddle in a corner. Okay. And Pretty Links is one of those things. And I tell everyone, you need to get Pretty Links. Now because I know you, I say it even more, but because, Zoom gives you this long URL. Okay. So I'm like, literally everyone should be installing Pretty Links on their site and pointing that long URL to a Pretty Link, right? And so
totally,
you came in and we have rise25.com/ and the Pretty Link for our Zoom room. So I could just tell people, go in the Zoom room and I don't have to remember, go to 639-6272, whatever, right? So everyone should be using Pretty Links. I wholeheartedly, believe that. And I know early on, Pretty Links, you got it, I guess in the comments you were getting just slammed.
Yeah, I did.
Because
I got some heat.
talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I'll tell you first of all. So like I just kind of created Pretty Links just for funsies, kind of back in the day. I wasn't planning on making it into like a premium plugin. And if you can imagine it, I put it on the WordPress directory, the free version, in 2009. So it was a long time ago.
Here we go.
And then I think 6 months later I decided, hey, I think I'll try to launch a pro version of this just to see if I can make some money at it.
Before you
And
launched the
sure
pro
enough,
version,
yeah,
were you just getting traction from putting it up on, like, how were people finding it?
they found it through the WordPress plugin directory.
Okay.
And
They were
so
just finding it.
yeah, I mean, WordPress has a very expansive plugin directory, and there were a few other plugins at the time that kind of did the same thing as Pretty Links, but I think they were made more for like affiliate marketers, which Pretty Links works great for affiliate marketers as well. But it would always append like a little slug in between. So there was one I think called Go Links, and so it would be like your domain slash go slash whatever your slug is. And I was like, that's stupid. I want to be able to just make any link completely customized, and I want it to use my domain name, and I want it to use my brand. And
Yeah.
it turns out there were some performance things that we had to work out with that, because the little slug makes it a little bit easier. But we've got it dialed in at this point. It's been on the market for many years now. But yeah, I think I got
Why'd you create it in the first place, though?
well, I came from a development background where I was writing Ruby on Rails. So, and I had some other previous experience with other things, but I kind of got into WordPress around 2008 and started helping people with marketing. And I was kind of learning as I went, as you do sometimes as a contractor. And I just started, seeing this need. I'm like, oh, these are terrible links. And I saw, I think there were some things like tiny URL and other kinds of things. It was kind of when Twitter was, kind of getting started, and link shrinking was a big deal. And so I just kind of was like, hey, I could do that pretty easily on WordPress now that I'm fiddling around with it. And I just felt like it was a really great, utility for me personally. And then I just put it on the WordPress plugin directory, and one thing led to another. It was actually the first plugin that I ever released,
Hmm.
and it was pretty cool. Like I remember the first day I released it, and I've launched other plugins on the WordPress plugin directory since. And somehow with Pretty Links, I don't know if it was the name, because I do think the name has always been, I've always been happy with the name. Um,
It's a great name.
and yeah, and the branding and stuff. But it got 184 downloads the first day. And I was like, whoa, this is like amazing. This is great. And then we just started getting, more and more kind of traction on the free version. And I just decided, hey, I'll try to launch this as a pro version and see where it goes. So it was a pretty early on, kind of premium, I would say, plugin for WordPress. I think Wishlist actually came out before then. I think they were like 2008. But Pretty Links was pretty early on. I didn't, I didn't get around to launching MemberPress until 2013. So, 4 years later. So,
So
but
Pretty
yeah,
Links,
we,
though, I mean, talk about some of the lessons you learned. One, customer service, right? Talk about that.
oh yeah. Well, I'll tell you, there is actually a story about that. Like I started getting like some negative ratings on Pretty Links, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And they're like, there's no way to contact you for support. Like I didn't even have like a contact form on my website to do support. I didn't know, I was like, oh, okay. I guess I need a form for people to contact me, and then I can help them with the plugin, you know. And so remedied that very early on, and we're great with support now. Trust me, we have lots of great support
Lesson learned.
staff members, and lesson learned. Absolutely, yeah. And so
How did
and
you come?
you
Yeah, go
have.
ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was just gonna say you were talking about like getting slammed in comments and stuff like that. And I told several people about it. I won't name any names, but there was like a kind of a major internet marketer at the time who I was like, hey, I was just kind of telling him the idea, and he's like, I don't know why anybody would use that. and then one of the founders of WordPress actually was on a comment thread and was like, this is stupid. I mean, I could do this with like one line of code or something like that. And I'm like, well, there is definitely a use case for this that, maybe you're not aware of. And I guess the lesson to that is that, like it doesn't really matter what people are saying about your product. If there's a market for it, your customers will buy it. I mean, people were buying it. That's a great vote. People are voting with their wallets, right? So
Yeah, it's
that was another
100%.
lesson learned.
That's the only
You
vote
know,
that matters. Someone's actually paying
yeah,
for it. And right here on your site, obviously, Blair says maximize your affiliate profits with Pretty Links, the leading affiliate tool trusted by over 8 million marketers, influencers, and content creators. And we use it. This is obviously there. We'll talk about some of the use cases. And I know Pat Flynn uses it, who I know, but and we use it. It's not even for affiliates, it's just like to make life easier, redirecting to Zoom, or if we're doing an event, we've done events and we've hosted them on Eventbrite or Partyful. And so people don't have to remember this long URL. We use it the same thing, right? It's just like
yeah,
risefromevent.com/Chicago 2026 event or something, and it just redirects to that page. So there's so many use cases for it. How do you think about, because you have to, and I had one of the founders of Jotform on, and he's got a freemium
right.
model, and they have like 25 million, I think, over users. And how did you go, okay, what do I include in the pro version versus the free version? Like, how did you think about pricing and that piece?
Yeah, it's really kind of an art, the freemium model, because you have to provide enough value that it's a useful tool. In fact, I would say with Pretty Links, it's probably like the free version is very useful to the point where like not as many people upgrade to pro as we would like, but we're happy. We have a lot of users and we have a lot of, kind of like we've got a lot of great paid users too, customers but like, we kind of looked at like, you know, I would say, features like that make it easier for like people who are making money, so
Yeah, I see.
like tags and categories and that sort of thing, advanced redirections. I mean, you can redirect, based on a country, the country that the visitor is in, you can, there's more, I would say reporting. The developer tools are a huge it's a really cool thing because you can hook this right into Zapier, or you can hook it into your own custom code, and you can just create links on the fly, that show up in your WordPress, admin, and you can manage them that way. QR codes, it's all listed right here. And so, really, I would say the way that we looked at it was that if somebody is looking at it like the free version, they're using it, they're just like, hey, I have a blog and I want to just create links. Fine, that's great. You can use this. This is a great tool for that. But if you're making money at it and you're like really looking, I mean, we have people that are managing tens of thousands of links on Pretty Links in their WordPress admin, like serious affiliate marketers who are making a lot of money on this thing. And they really appreciate the ability to, really organize what they're doing, really organize their links. And so that's, we also have some new innovative features, I would say. One of them is called product displays. So it allows you to create, like ads of your links and that sort of thing. And it'll show up right on your WordPress admin interface or on the front end. And we have a couple of other kind of cool features that are going to be launching pretty soon. One of them I'll tease here is that we're a link in bio feature. So if you look at like a company, a product like Linktree, where you have, your link on like LinkedIn or on Instagram, and they go in it. You can see all of your different catalog of links. You'll be able to do that same thing with Pretty Links soon as well.
Yeah, I've seen
So
people, they
we're
have like a
still,
link tree and you go to it and it's like, here's my website, here's my LinkedIn, here's my Instagram, here's
yeah,
all these things. Yeah.
yeah. So it may
How did you determine that? Like when we're looking at, and here, like they have a free version, but they have, it's interesting. You looked at the people who are making money from it. You're like, okay, they're making money. They can, obviously afford to pay something. I mean, listen, the beginner version is $99 a year, right? And $150 a
right.
year. I'm sure there's people who are like, oh my God, I'd pay so much more than that. And there's people who are like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
But how do you decide on when you were evaluating it? Did you just go out and talk to the customers or did you look at their usage on certain things? Like, how did you determine these,
Like
the
pricing.
pro feature? Yeah, the pricing and
Oh,
the
the price.
feature set.
Yeah, I mean, we listen to our customers for one. I think initially the pro features were just kind of advanced redirect types and that sort of thing. But like over time, we've added features that basically our users have told us. And of course, we look at the market as well. Like, what are other kind of competitors doing in the space, and what are other kind of affiliates, and what are the affiliate marketing trends? So we look at all of those kinds of things to kind of come up with a feature set. And, and if you look at like, I think this is a huge value. Just basically, you look at like any of the competitors in the space, and some of them charge vastly more money than this, and Pretty Links is a very well proven tool. It's been around for 16 years, basically. Well, actually, it has been around for over 16 years now, and it just works. The thing works. So.
Yeah, I'm curious. No, thanks for pointing that out because the free version is very robust. you know
Yeah,
um and even if you look at the beginner marketer and super for like the bigger plans, it still includes a lot of stuff. It's more like the sites that they're using it
right.
on is the main difference. And obviously you mentioned the
Yeah.
product display stuff.
Yeah, if you
um
look at the
yeah
super affiliate, we've got some differentiation there, and you get the product displays, you get the developer tools, the QR code generator, that sort of thing. So there
yeah
there is some differentiation there.
You mentioned, obviously a big market is affiliates because they're using redirects to go, okay, hey, I recommend. Do people have a pretty link for pretty link? That's kind of meta, right? Like if we for their
We do,
affiliate thing.
we do, and there was a lot of people
Pat
who use
Flynn
Pretty
is
Links for it.
like,
Yeah,
hey, I recommend this hosting company. Go to, you know,
yeah,
smart passive whatever income or whatever his site is, .com/, hosting company or whatever the hosting company is. What I'm curious, you mentioned the affiliate stuff. What conferences do you go to? Do you go to like the affiliate summits of the world? And what are your favorite
yeah.
conferences over the years?
Um, well, I haven't been to an affiliate summit in a while. I think like after, during COVID, I kind of got, I didn't go to a lot of the conferences during that time, of course, but I haven't really been back yet. But I have gone to several different affiliate summits back in the day. I think the last time I went to one was probably just right before the pandemic. But yeah, and they're close to me. I'm in southern Utah, so they have one in Vegas, a lot of the time, so I can drive down there and just enjoy it. But um, yeah, I think Affiliate Summit's a really good conference. Um,
What other
yeah.
ones from maybe on the coding aspect, like WordPress
We
conferences?
do a lot of so I go to WordCamps every year. I just went to WordCamp Europe back in June, and didn't make it to WordCamp US this year, but did last year. And a big one that I went to, again, I think pre-pandemic was traffic and conversion. I'm not even sure if they're doing them anymore. There's another great WordPress conference, Pressnomics, that I think they just barely rebooted. That is a great conference, for like the WordPress economy kind of a thing, and so that's one that I would definitely recommend.
Who are some of, I'm curious, the plugins and the people you respect in the WordPress community?
Oh,
Because you have a lot of, in my mind, very well known like brands like with MemberPress and Wishlist
right.
Member and been around for a long time. Easy Affiliate. What are some of the ones that you MemberMouse? What are some of the ones that you respect in the plugins and people?
Well, I'll start with the plugins that I install on every single site.
Let's do
One
it.
of those is All-in-One SEO. That's headed by Ben Rojas. He's a great guy. It's part of the Awesome Motive group of plugins. Syed Balki is the CEO over there, and so I look up to him a lot. And Ben is awesome. I would also say Monster Insights, which Pretty Links and MemberPress both integrate with seamlessly. But Monster Insights is a valuable tool. That's the CEO over there is Zach Quarta. He's the general manager, and so great folks over there. Um, I would say Formidable Forms. So Steve Wells is the CEO over there. That is a very amazing form building plugin. I would even push it to like a rapid prototyping tool set. It's phenomenal, and and I also love Jared Atchinson over at WP Forms. That is a great product as well. So if you're looking for more, I would say, he calls it stupid simple contact forms. You go over there. It's great. And these are all, WordPress based plugins. So I would definitely recommend any of those. One that's not Optin Monster is a great one that we install on all of our sites. It's got
Yeah,
a
we
WordPress
have
tie-in, but
Optin Monster. Yep.
yeah, it's basically like you just kind of have to have it, uh, in my opinion. I mean, if you're running promotions or doing anything like that, it's just critical. And another one that we've used, I think, in the last couple of Black Fridays has been the raffle press from Seed Prod. The guys at Seed Prod, John Turner. He's awesome, and he's got this. Raffle press, basically, it's a raffle, so you can do a giveaway or something like that. I think last year we gave away a MacBook Pro, and the idea is that you get the entries for the people have to go through some actions in order to get entries, so like they can share
It's kind
on
of like
Twitter or
gamified type of thing.
yeah, it's totally gamified. And the first year I used it, it basically just blew my mind. I was like, oh, wow, like we got a lot of like engagement and a lot of traction on this. And you have to be careful because, sometimes you'll get like the people just looking for deals kind of a thing, and they're not maybe that interested in the product or whatever. But we've kind of dialed it in now where, we can get the right kind of engagement. It's really great. So those are some that I think are great. I would say on the services side, I always have to give a shout out to Pixel Jar. Brandon Dove and Jeff Zinn. They're serious experts, and we've had we've referred people to them in the past, and they know what they're doing. They also have a really cool plugin called Ad Sanity that they use. It basically allows you to put ads on your WordPress site, and you can rotate ads. And we use Ad Sanity extensively through our efforts as well. So, and I could just keep going.
Keep
There's
going. I
there's
mean,
so many great.
I keep going if you have them.
Yeah. So
The whole 60 minutes, just rattle off.
yeah, the whole
People
thing. I'm
love
like, okay,
hearing what
okay,
plugins
yeah.
they should be using. 100%.
Okay, I'll
Yeah.
give one more plug here for Seed Prod itself. Seed Prod is a phenomenal page builder. Like it started off as like a maintenance, and that's John Turner
Seed
as well. It
Prod.
started off Seed Prod. It started off as like a maintenance page kind of a thing, and now they actually have like an AI site builder with WordPress. It's pretty wild what they're doing right now on Seed Prod. But yeah, it's phenomenal.
What about
So
themes? Do you have like what kind of theme companies do you look at? Because I'm sure I don't know if you have to that affects the integration and how you build things with the different themes
yeah,
coming out.
yeah. Well, I will say that like we historically with MemberPress, we had kind of an issue with themes just because MemberPress is a plugin. And then your membership pages would kind of look a little janky unless you had a designer or a developer who could like work with it. So we've actually created our own technology called Ready Launch that is featured in MemberPress that it actually can bypass the theme for so like we've
So
got
whatever
some really
theme a site
beautiful.
has, they can use Ready Launch and it won't mess
Yeah,
with your thing.
yeah.
They could have whatever theme it is.
Yeah,
I
and
gotcha.
and they're just guaranteed. So you can it basically is kind of like a SaaS experience, I would say. Like you have like you can change the color and the and there's different configuration based on the page, but like you can upload your logo and that sort of thing. And so because if you think about it, if you were using WordPress as your kind of brochure site, and then you had a SaaS on like Kajabi or some other kind of like platform, the theme would change, it would change, but we're making it. And so, they don't have to worry about their theme. You can turn Ready Launch off if you really do want to customize it to your heart's content as you can with WordPress. And MemberPress has a million different what are called actions and hooks that'll make it easy for a developer to go in and modify things. Actions and filters, rather. Sorry, but anyway, and so it's really I think a really phenomenal technology. But as far as like we I would say our customers use Elementor a lot. So Elementor is a really big one. Divi is a really big one. We've
Yeah.
got good,
We use
great
Divi.
relationship
We
with it.
like Divi. Yeah.
Yeah, Divi's phenomenal, and so we have a good relationship with them. Beaver Builder is actually really great too. I'm really good friends with the guys over there. Those guys are great, and so I mean you know there are other, kind of themes out there. I think most of our customers prefer, kind of like a builder, a page builder kind of a theme. And so that works out for them.
So Blair, we'll
So,
talk about your plugin journey. Sounded like it started
yeah,
with Pretty Link.
yep.
What was next?
So, right after that was a plugin called Affiliate Royale, which turned out to not be a very great name for it. But it's a full affiliate program
Is
for
Easy
WordPress.
Affiliate like did that transition to Easy
That's the
Affiliate?
we basically
Okay.
rewrote the whole thing and then rebrand, like just
Why
completely
wasn't
like
that a good name?
you're gambling with your affiliate
Oh,
program.
I gotcha.
That was kind of the gist that we got from like our customers. And
I gotcha.
the old website wasn't that great either. It kind of looked like the carpet from a Vegas casino or something. Like it literally looked like that. I was like, there was like a carpet pattern up at the top, and it looks like you're on a casino website or something. And so I don't know. I mean, I just had a crazy idea. I'm like, we're going to call it
I,
Affiliate
it's
Royale.
funny
I
you
think it
say that
sounds
because
great.
like we did a podcast for the Prosper Show, which is like
Yeah.
an e-commerce, it's Amazon seller conference. And James Thompson, Johansson like started it. And so, they were putting us all up in a hotel. And so I treated their money like mine. So I just chose like a really inexpensive hotel in Vegas. And they're like, Jeremy, why don't you stay somewhere nicer? I'm like, no, James, like, I know you're footing it for us. Like, we'll stay somewhere economical. We're not going to be in the room that much. And literally, it's exactly what you described. Just like I didn't even want to, I slept on my clothes on the bed. Like, that's how I'm like, I made a big mistake, James. You were right. Like,
Yeah.
I should have stayed somewhere nicer. I felt like if I got under the covers, I would get bed bugs. So I slept in my clothes on top of
Yeah.
the covers. So I can
Oh,
picture that's probably what your site was like. So,
yeah, it was
um,
bad. It didn't smell like cigarette smoke though, like a lot of those.
so what was next after that?
So then it was MemberPress. So like I
Was Member Press.
basically, yeah, I wrote affiliate Royale, and because I thought, oh, an affiliate program might be a little bit easier than a membership, because I had the idea for MemberPress a while ago. And ironically, it was because I had used Wishlist and I didn't like it. So I was like, this thing doesn't even protect, and I'm like, I'm a developer. I should be able to do this, and it's kind of like one of those things
It's
where,
harder than you think.
yeah, you just think everything's going to be easy when you start. And I
When
actually
I
appreciate
search,
that
by the
though.
way, Affiliate Royale, you can see here the easy
Yeah.
affiliate does come up. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and we basically just transitioned anyone who was using Affiliate Royale over to the new Easy Affiliate. And
But
and
Member
so
Press was next.
MemberPress was next. Yeah, I had actually written kind of a proto
What were
version
you
of
trying to do with
MemberPress
it though?
with
Because
a.
you were using another two, you now you run wish list, but like at the time you weren't. What were you needing? You experienced the
I
pain point.
I was doing client sites at the time. I still was doing client work up until probably 6 months into MemberPress when I was able to just go full time. So like even through Pretty Links and Affiliate Royale, I was still in the grind, man. I mean, I was contracting with various, kind of, outfits, and just started writing MemberPress on the side because I was like, I can do better than this, and which, by the way, Wishlist Member was totally rewritten, and it's a phenomenal product. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought it,
Right. I
But
figured.
like,
Yeah.
it's yeah. But back in the day, it was a totally different kind of technology stack and stuff. And so I was kind of like looking over, like building it for client sites, basically. So, but yeah, and I had written the first version of MemberPress. It actually sold Affiliate Royale when it came out in 20. It was 2011 when Affiliate Royale came out, and it was running just kind of a bare bones version of MemberPress. That's what was selling it. And then, basically, I was contracting, and I had MemberPress almost complete in 2012, and I was working as a contractor for this. It was like a newspaper, newspaper tech, which is a very temporary job. It was a very, but they basically
Isn't
were,
that like an oxymoron?
yeah, they came
Newspaper
to
tech.
me.
No.
They came to me in like I remember it was the day after Halloween. It was November 1st, 2012, and they're like, "Hey, there's a new, the company's been acquired because they were struggling, of course, and the new owner says that if you don't come into work, because I was working from home, that you're gonna that we're gonna have to let you go." And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm done here. So I was like, I'm not gonna go in there because I was doing all this other plugin stuff too. So I had to have contracts that were flexible. And so I remember going upstairs and telling my wife, I'm like, hey, we don't have any income, we got to make this thing work.
I hope
So
you didn't present it like that.
yeah, I did.
We
she's
don't have any
pretty
more
she's
income. You don't want to lead with that. But
yeah, I'm like, we're
you
broke.
want to lead with,
We're
we're
broke. We don't.
fine. I have all figured out. We don't have income. Don't lead with,
Yeah, yeah. I think I probably did, say,
no, I'm
hey,
kidding.
it's going to be all right. It'll be all right. I'm going to get this thing out, and it's going to be very successful. And that was a huge motivator, man, because like by January, we had it out, and it almost immediately started, you know, getting some traction, which was nice.
Yeah. And we'll talk
So
about, member press. You know, some of the things that work because I mean obviously you and all the different plugins with the membership sites, you power a lot of different memberships, so you learn a thing or two about
yeah,
memberships. What are some of the
absolutely.
big mistakes people make with their memberships? And by the way, we're a customer, and that's how we met actually through MemberMouse,
You're right.
and Matt. And so we've had various courses and everything throughout the years, and we love it. So, what are some of those mistakes you find people make with their membership sites?
Yeah, I believe that there are a lot of avoidable mistakes that people make, very avoidable. One is I think people overthink their offering. They overthink it. They think like I gotta, well, first of all, okay, I would say the first mistake that they make is they don't get started soon enough. Like when they have an idea and they think, oh, I can't do it. It's like, well, actually, I believe, especially nowadays with AI and everything, I mean, WordPress has never been more accessible ever, and so like you can definitely do it. But I think then people kind of overthink it. So like they'll either overthink their offering. So like, oh, I got to charge this amount here and then this amount there. And then they make it complicated when it could just be like, pay, I don't know, $19 a month to get my courses or, something like that. And then drip them out over time. Easy peasy. Right. So,
Yeah, here's the drip
I would
content
say,
feature
yeah,
that you can see. So like they don't have access to everything because people like, well, why, how you charge monthly? Well,
yeah,
that's one way people do it is you could do like a probably here it is yearly if people want to keep creating content, but if you don't and you wanted to drip out one from a digestibility perspective from a customer, but also, you know, people can just go in and download everything and then just churn off your platform too.
yeah. And that I think drip is a really good way to avoid that happening. And we actually have some very advanced drip controls. I mean, we initially when we launched MemberPress, we didn't have courses. We just figured, hey, you can lock down anything in WordPress, and whether it's courses or whatever. And we worked with major LMS plugins as well, and it worked out great. And in 2020, we launched our own courses. Feature set. So MemberPress is actually also a full-fledged LMS as
Looks like a
well.
course creator
Uh,
right here.
yeah, it's got you can build courses, quizzes. There's grading and assignments and downloads. I mean, there's all kinds of different things going on in Word or in MemberPress now, and so really, dripping, you can drip just like random content, but you can also drip through courses as well, right? Like you can say, unlock, this, you know, course once they've finished this course, kind of a thing. And so it kind of, helps people to stay longer on the site for one. And you can also, lock them down basically like, so, hey, unlock this next course next month or whatever. And there's now a new pay cycle. You can also, charge based on, like one time only. So if you want to do courses a la carte, you can charge that way. But it's really quite flexible at this point. And I would say if you looked at MemberPress years ago, I mean, we've done so much work. The product is like it's just it's really usable now. It's very robust. We've got, I would say, the best onboarding that I've seen uh, you know in a WordPress plugin like this. And so
Talk about onboarding for a second,
yeah,
Blair, because
yeah.
onboarding in any business, it could be a software, it could be a plugin, it could be an agency. What have you found that it really works well to streamline the onboarding?
Well, I mean, there's all the outside of plugin kind of, activities like emailing. Hey, here's a welcome email. Here's a thank you page, that sort of thing. And so like there's that, but there's also like in product onboarding. I mean, when we first launched MemberPress, we just basically like you'd install the plugin and here, have at it. We don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing or anything, but have at it. And somehow, people figured it out. It was great. But like now, we have a system that walks people through. It shows them videos, short videos, by the way, not 10-minute videos on what they're doing, and it allows you to get started very quickly. And so, even somebody coming, we've had many, if you go to Trustpilot, you can see all of the great reviews, but like, and if you run into problems, we have kind of a 24/7 AI chat. We have great support. We have a great knowledge base that we really keep up to date pretty aggressively. We have people dedicated doing that sort of thing, and so you can always get the help that you need, no matter what you're doing. So
Is the MemberPress search, is this a part of what is that? Do you have a plugin for that, or is that native to
Yeah. So
your
so
site?
WordPress has their own native search, but
Yeah.
we use another. This is another product that we love, WP Search.
Okay.
So WP Search, it will improve. It improves member or WordPress's search quite dramatically,
Yeah.
actually.
I
So
think we
it's
use
really
Swift
good.
type.
Okay.
I think that's what we use, but I'll check out WP search too.
Yeah, yeah. WP Search is good, and then for our knowledge base, we have a really good search in our knowledge base that is it's called Hero or Heroic Knowledge Base. And heroic, I would recommend that to anybody who is trying to amass a knowledge base for people to search through. It's really phenomenal. So,
Those are huge. Yeah.
yeah,
So mistakes people make, they complicate the offer, right? Confused buyers
yeah,
don't buy.
yeah.
What other mistakes do people make when they're creating their membership or products?
Um, well, one that I would say is that they build their entire business on a hosted platform. So, like, I think that hosted platforms are great, for people getting started. But like sometimes they run into like a bottleneck at some point. So like we have brought the SaaS experience to WordPress because it's easy to get up and running, but like if somebody needs to change their theme or customize things in a certain way, or they want to install pretty links or whatever, that they're kind of limited if they're in a sandboxed environment. And so we've actually had a lot of people that we've seen in the last few years migrating over from these platforms. Not to mention the some of the onerous policies that you'll see on some of them. Like, and by the way, I do love the SaaS model. I think it's a really phenomenal model. But like when your entire business is running on a hosted platform, it can cause some problems with like data lock-in sometimes. Sometimes the data isn't as easy to get out as you'd like, and some of them are actually training their AIs on your data, which we can't even do. we're when we just provide the plugin, and we do provide support for it and that sort of thing, but we don't have access to your data. We don't have access to, any of that kind of stuff. And so we're just kind of like a partner for you, rather than, and we're not training our AIs on anything. Trust me, we're good.
Yeah, I want to talk through, Blair, some examples and how people are using it because I love getting these
Yeah.
ideas. Before
Yeah.
we do that, I want to, talk about just how, at what point did you decide, you know what, maybe it'd be interesting if I acquired a few of these other plugins as well. What was your thought around that?
Yeah. So basically, I've always been big fans of, you know, Tracy and Stu over on Wishlist, even though early on I was like, I can do better than this. But I met them later on and I was like, these are good guys. I like these guys. So I've followed, Wishlist for many years. And basically, the opportunities just kind of came up, like it turns out that they were, looking to sell, and I, and I was
It's
able
a
to
small
put together.
world, and people
Yeah.
then go, hey, I think you'd be a fit as a buyer for this.
Yeah, and I mean, I have to give credit to Syed Balki, who is like he's always got his pulse on the market, and no, if you know Syed Balki from Awesome Motive, he's acquired a lot of different companies through his growth fund. In fact, MemberPress is actually part of the growth fund as well, so we're kind of part of that group. But like, um, you know. Some of these deals have kind of basically come to us, and now we've kind of acquired, a portfolio of different membership companies, and it's phenomenal. So, and like you talked early on, I think the trickier part is like operationally, like how to integrate them and that sort of thing. But you know, I feel like we've gotten really great, resources from these companies. So, Matt Brown is one. He works for us, and he came over from Member Mouse, and just a phenomenal
He's
resource.
great.
And so,
I love Matt.
from Yeah, he's great. And so we you know, but it's been a learning process for sure. The last thing you want to do when you acquire a company is, you know, put everyone on notice or make them think that they're on notice, because in the big corporate world, that happens a lot. But, you know, suffice it to say, like Matt's been with us, for years now. He's been with us, since, I guess we acquired it in 2020, the beginning of 2023. And so like, we've integrated pretty well, I think. And we've got a lot of expertise in the membership space. So
I would say
like, I
so.
feel like we've pushed a lot of, I think really great improvements to wish list and to member mouse. And we're continuing to, push the envelope on that. And even Access Alley, that's our newest kind of acquisition. It happened last year, and you know, great people. So
I mean, the reason I ask is it just seems like an obvious playbook. Like you literally probably
yeah,
acquire every member. I mean, anyone that you want. And obviously people have to agree on, value and whatever, but it
right,
seems like an obvious, you already own a number of the biggest ones, member plugins out there, right?
yeah, yeah. And I think the reason it makes sense and the reason why these deals have worked is that operationally we know what we're doing, and so like and we don't have a culture of just what is it, the churn and burn kind of mentality where we want to, and we want to see these brands survive. We don't want to see them just falter and go away. I think sometimes people have the mentality of like, hey, I'm going to acquire my competitor and then we'll just you know get rid of it or whatever. It's like, no, every brand appeals to a different audience, and there's and so like we want to serve as many membership site customers as we can. The reason that we're in this is for the really the entrepreneur, for the person who is trying to get some movement and make a living off of what they know. And it is, in my opinion, that's one of the greatest things that we can take advantage of in our time. Is that, hey, I can sit at my home office and I can make a living, or I can even sit on my couch and make a
Yeah.
living, selling what I know. And we want to facilitate that, whatever, and even if it's not member press, that's fine. We're going to help someone through member mouse or access ally or any other way that we can.
Yeah. And I want to break down a few ways people are using these memberships because there's a
Yeah,
lot of ways people use it. But you mentioned, sometimes people are practitioners, like they're Pilates or they're yoga or they're a doctor or they're something. And it's you're trading time for dollars. Even it could be high time for dollars. And the membership sites allow you to do a one to many and make money without
right.
necessarily interfacing with someone. I'm sure people have, things that are integrated with, oh, if you upgrade, you get my once a month group call or whatever. But I want to talk about some examples. I know we're right at the hour. I don't want to make you late for the next appointment. If
Oh,
you
I'm
have it, if
good.
you have a couple extra minutes, I would love to talk
Yeah.
about shredding your body. Uh, 40 alpha. maybe
Yeah.
maybe
Over
start with
40
that
alpha.
one.
That's Funk Roberts, and he's on Wishlist, and I think he's been on Wishlist. I think he told me since 2011. So much longer. He was there with Stu and Tracy, and making it happen back then. But he's got a really phenomenal fitness website that he's run on there for years, and he loves Wishlist, and he's got kind of a really I would say fanatical following. They have a lot of like, kind of he calls it a like a tribe that he has there. And but the results speak for themselves. If you go look at, he's got a bunch of videos on YouTube and as well, but you know,
Oh, I see. It's over
everybody's
40
yeah,
alpha. Is that's the
yeah,
site?
yeah, yeah.
Oh my God. Is that
Yep.
him? He's ripped. My God.
Yeah, he is he's ripped, and you couldn't ask for a nicer guy either. He's very
Here's the site.
very
Basically,
cool.
what they
Yeah,
did is they photoshopped Blair's body and put this guy's head on it.
That's right.
Let's be honest.
That's right. That's yeah, that's me. That's me. I mean, he's got more than a six pack. That's like a 20
Oh
pack
my
or something,
God.
you know?
That's crazy.
Yeah. But he's got a large, kind of group, and like even to the point where I think that some of them have actually like tattooed his logo on their body.
Wow.
Like that's the level of like he's just crushing it, and he has other membership site properties out there as well. But like yeah, this is something that people are doing right here, and the thing that I want to showcase about this is that membership sites. They don't always like. There's a lot of content here that he has produced, but like the real stickiness comes from the community through the association with other people in a lot of these membership sites. Some of them are, I guess, purely about content, but like the community can really make a really big difference as well.
Mm,
And these guys are doing it really well. So
I love it. I'll check that out. I don't know, there's a couple we talked about. There's thinking cap, Pilatesology, McCann's method, which would be the best one to talk about on
yeah.
the member press front.
Well, I would say that we already talked about a fitness one. Let's talk about the McCants method. So the McCants method is, you know, this is a former therapist. Well, I'm sure she's still a therapist, but she has developed a system for therapists to make more money. And so she runs her operation on MemberPress, and I can say that they're quite successful doing this. And I've had the opportunity to
Here it is.
have some calls with her and chat, and so they're one to look at. Like I look at these sites a lot of times, and I really don't understand really what they're doing all the time with my own product. And we have limited insight into like their data even because we're not a hosted platform. So I learn a lot through my own customers, I would say Nicole is one of these people that she's figured some stuff out, and so she would be a really great one to look at, for her. She's got a podcast, she's got courses, and she's got a whole system really for helping therapists, they're making more money, so it's a win-win for everyone, right?
Is there like one that sticks out as like the weirdest use case?
Um,
Because you mentioned there's a lot of ones that you would not even expect. There's a membership community. Obviously, we see there's the fitness. This is someone coaching therapists to make more money. The Pilates one. I can see the health niche. Are there any just weird ones that you're like, how I had no idea someone would start a membership site about this?
um, there's one so there's one there's some that are like music related. I mean, we had a guy that was uh giving ukulele lessons. I forget the guy's name, but there's another one that I actually met this guy last month, Joe Lieberman. He's got a site called For Bass Players Only, and it's phenomenal. So it's specifically targeted for like people who want to learn how to play the bass and they are over the age of 50. And I mean, this guy is like an unbelievable pro. Like he used to play with the Miami Sound Machine all through the 80s, and he's traveled all over the world, playing the bass. And he uses Access Ally actually, but he's really fun. And the thing that is kind of it's interesting to me because like they're targeting this, it's a pretty specific niche, like bass players that are over 50, or like Funk Roberts, men who want to improve their body after the age of 40. So these niches are really kind of interesting to me because I mean, you can't really know every market in the world, but like there's somebody out there that knows their own market. They know what they're talking about, And the way that you know, John described it to me, he was saying that he he's like, this isn't even for people that really want to, like, most of them don't really want to perform. They just want to jam. They just want to like go just jam, or like maybe they have some buddies that they can get together with and just jam out. And I'm like, that is pretty cool. Like he's built this really successful business. He's got employees. He's like, he's making it happen. And it's a pretty targeted niche. And the guy is a phenomenal expert, so it makes sense. But I would never have thought that would be, like a real, um, you know, I mean, I didn't know there was a market for that,
Yeah.
but I think it's phenomenal. And it kind of makes me want to start playing the bass. But I'm not quite 50 yet. Okay. I'm getting there.
You got a little gray there. You're not quite there.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I
Yeah.
grow mine
Give
out,
me
it
another
shows more
year.
gray
Yeah.
too, but that's why I
Oh, okay.
gave it. I have one last question. Blair, first of all, thank you. Thanks
Yeah.
for sharing your journey. This has been
Totally.
fantastic, and people should check out. I mean, we mentioned a bunch of the sites, but if you want to go to caseproof.com and go to the products, they have a list of all of the ones: Member Press, Member Mouse, Wishlist Member, Easy Affiliate, Pretty Links, Thirsty Affiliates, Buy Now Plus, and probably they'll add more when they start acquiring all the other member sites out there. So if you have a member site and you're like, I don't want to run anymore, contact Blair. Maybe they'll buy it from you. Who knows? But Blair, I'm curious, some of your favorite books of all time. I know I've heard you mention 37 Signals before. Are there any like business, entrepreneur, leadership books over the years that are some of your favorites?
Oh yeah. I've got several. I would say probably the granddaddy of them all is The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. That's a really great one. Um, another great one that we use pretty heavily, it's the Traction
Gino Wickman,
by
yeah, he's
Gino
been on the
Wickman.
podcast. Yep.
Has he? Oh, it's a phenomenal. We use EOS at our company, and it's been a real. That's been great. We've really gotten a handle on what we're doing. So that's a really great book as well. And so yeah, uh, I would say in investing, I have a really great book, The Boglehead Guide to Investing. It's pretty straightforward, but if you're looking at like you're like, I don't know anything about stocks or bonds or anything, and you think that you have to be like an extreme expert on this to get started investing. I would recommend going to get Boglehead. I have like a whole bunch of copies of Boglehead, and I have a whole bunch of copies of Traction that I give out to people. So if I meet you, maybe I'll have an extra copy for you, So
Well, I have some extra Audible credits, so I have
there you go.
Traction. I have Seven Habits in my account. The Bogleheads I do not have, so hopefully that's an Audible since I listen to everything.
Oh,
So,
it is. It
okay,
is.
cool.
I just listen to these
Yeah, I'm
typically.
looking at it right now.
I have the
Yeah.
hard copy of Boglehead because there were some materials in there, and I've kind of got through it a few times. I'm going to make one more recommendation. I
Yeah.
know this is a lot of
Keep them
recommendations,
coming.
but
Yeah.
there's a book called. This is more of I would call it a mental health kind of a book, but I love it, and I love listening to it on Audible particularly. It's called Feeling Good, and it's the first book that I guess introduced cognitive behavioral therapy. So like if you go to a psychologist, you're going to probably do CBT, but this book has been they clinically proven that it is at least as effective as like an antidepressant. So just reading the book, and I would say listening to it. The guy
This
who
is
reads the book.
David Burns. David Burns is
Yes,
the person.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. And it's just a really great way to look at your life. We all I know like
It's 17
working from
hours.
home. Yeah, yeah,
Holy
it's a
moly.
good. But here's the thing that's
There's
great
two of
about it.
them. Feeling Good, the New Mood Therapy. And so that must be the newer version or something. And then
I think
Feeling
that,
Good, the Revolutionary New Treatment for Depression and Anxiety.
yeah, that's the one. So
Okay.
I haven't read anything. I know that there are a couple of other ones, but the thing that's really great about this
Yeah.
book is that you can just listen to a chapter and you don't have to go necessarily in order, although maybe the first time you listen to it, but like, I'll listen to it like if I'm out on a walk or something like that, if I'm stressed or whatever, and it really does, it's really amazing. It's basically, don't be so hard on yourself kind of a philosophy. And I think we could all use some of that, especially, you work from home and you're just trapped indoors all day, maybe, or I don't know.
I mean, a lot of the people, they're running companies or CEOs, founders. I mean, talk about stress,
Yeah,
so I love that. I just bought both of them as you were talking. So Feeling Good and Boglehead Guide. So I appreciate those recommendations. Blair, I
yeah,
want to encourage people, check out everything they're doing at caseproof.com products. And Blair, I just want to thank you so much. This was great.
yeah. It was great. Thanks for having me on.
What I got, you can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sailing right now. I'm feeling like 100 grand.